How do you know when people are lying or our leads, our prospects lying to you?
When they're talking?
When their lips are moving, right? So, I mean...
What up, y'all? John Wetmore back with another episode of Insurance Insiders Podcast. I have Max Baker here with me. My understanding is, dude, you're a Canadian Florida boy, which I don't understand. I guess that means you moved, who likes guns, cigars, lifting weights, tattoos, and insurance, huh?
Yeah, that pretty much summarizes it. I'm a gun-toting, tattoo, blasted, weightlifting, telesales producing guy. I'm a man of simple taste. I like simplified issue whole life, one called close, outbound, and that's it, man. That's pretty much all there is
so
to
you're
it.
not afraid to work.
Absolutely not, man.
Love it.
You got to work. But I used to work in construction for 10 years. So, going like this and talking to people on the phone, that's not that hard, bro. So we're not asking you to dig a hole or build a concrete wall, man. We're just asking you to call people that said, call me. Yeah. So I don't understand why these people can't do their damn job, right? Yeah. And that's why it's more business for me. So I'm all for them not working. That means more business for me.
Your competition is not that deep.
Unfortunately now. Well, I got to go against people like your top guys and some of the other top people out there. But it's the top. There's a very small percentage of people that are consistently producing. Everyone else is just shit at their job, or they're just not working hard enough. As you say, do more, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You've been watching. I like it.
I have.
Hey, simple is what made this thing work for me. You know what I mean? And Absolutely. It is funny that a lot of people don't want to do the work, but they want the income and the success and the glory. And I joke, a lot of people now, agents now, they sit around in their PJs waiting for the automation to book their appointments. I'm like, yo, what's going to happen when they start paying the robots instead of you?
Oh yeah, it's coming, dude. It's coming, and it's funny. That's an interesting conversation about where AI is going to take the business. And if you're a top producer in one industry, you could obviously pivot. But full transparency, I'd be lying to say if I wasn't nervous. Yeah. But back when I started two years ago, I've only been in the industry for just under 2 years. I was dialing from my phone like this.
Yeah.
On speaker, taking notes, setting appointments in a room that had no air conditioning in August in Florida. You know how uncomfortable that shit was? But I still did it, and I still hit my goals. Now, there's auto dialers, there's pre-booked appointments, there's inbound. What the fuck is an inbound lead back in the day? That didn't exist in your time. Now people just do this. They just look on Instagram and wait for someone to call them. It's like, and you're still not even hitting 20,000 a month, which is not a lot. Come on. There's no excuse for that. There really isn't.
I agree. What I've always said is, like, if it were that easy, the insurance companies, they wouldn't pay near as much as they do. You know what I'm saying? And they would do it themselves. Sure. So I think people asking for it to be too easy is kind of a dangerous piece. Mm-hmm. And I think that too, I've been in business now 12 years, dude. And I've seen this thing evolve so many times. And what I've learned is people like yourself that can adapt and do multiple, kind of keep the basics. You know what I mean? Knowing that'll never go away. Hell, they were selling insurance with no technology at the rate of trillions of dollars a year, 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago when there was no tech, no leads, no nothing.
Yeah.
But man, what I've learned is today's favorite thing will not be here next year. You know what I'm saying? It will change again. And if you're not staying ahead of the curve and learning new things and being well-versed, it's going to be hard to grow long-term.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to be a student of the game. It was 2 years ago where you could just buy some leads, get your phone and just make, 300, 400 dials, book your appointments. But now, you're dialing from your phone, that shit's going to get flagged. All of a sudden your contact rate just went from 20% to 2%. And at that 2%, good luck booking an appointment, having them show up. I don't book appointments, but if your phone's a scam, likely you're fucked. Like, no one's going to answer the phone. Yeah. And then it's just so complicated there. You got TSA compliance, you got FCC compliance. It's just like every governing body is trying to make our lives harder. And so be it. We'll pivot just because that's what the industry has to do. But if you're not about it and you're not following up with these trends, you're going to get smoked. Right.
So how do agents? All right. So I have a question for you with all that, right? I'm a big fan of going like, keep it simple for new guys.
Absolutely.
So with all that stuff, how do you get them to do, and you can talk about the volume and all the stuff you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you ever sell in home, or you always telesales?
Oh yeah, bro. I sold in home in Florida. That was wild, man. People would bust out their guns and be like, they teach you how to shoot in Canada, young man. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
They'd pull out their M16s, you name it. In home was wild. I mean, it was kind of fucking gross.
All I did.
My French.
Yeah, I sold like maybe like a handful ever phone apps virtually when it was like when they first came out with DocuSign, whatever, years ago, you know, before it was a thing. But I'm 99.9% in home, kitchen table, sometimes sitting in the garage, whatever, front porch, crap like that, trailer home.
Yeah, so they could smoke or do whatever. It's in homes, and it was wild. But yeah, what was your point there?
In today's world, with some of the stuff you're talking about, I see so many people hesitant to work because they think they need to know everything about everything and all the rules, and they're scared to call if the sun's not at the perfect angle at the right time because the whatever governing body said that. You know what I mean? Like, how do we keep it simple in today's world?
Very, very simple. So I think the idea, especially for new agents, is they need cash yesterday, right? So we need to make sure it's a very simple sales process. So I preach one call close, especially for digital leads. Because, man, getting these the hardest thing to do in this industry is getting people to pick up the fucking phone, 100%. Right? So if I get someone to pick up that phone, I'm not letting you off the phone till I get your banking and I get that signature. I don't do follow-up. Some people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to reach out to them. Hell no. Like, I want to tell them this. I want to hear a hang up, and then if they hang up at me, I'm going to call back. But the idea is if we could get them really good at selling maybe just half a dozen carriers maximum, right? Let's get maybe 2-3 carriers, 4, 5, 6 maximum. Let's make sure it's instant issue, simple signature process, ideally a text or a voice authorization for the older folk. Let's make it a simplified issue product like final expense. And let's get paid the next day, and let's just do that over and over and over and over again. Bro, if you could, I worked 18 days last month and I got deposits. This is on my mother, 18,976. Just one call close, final expense, right? But I made it, it's so simple. Just one script, no appointment booking script, one script, boom, from top to bottom. Make sure it's underwriting, make sure I get that approval, and then I get paid the next day. And it's as simple as that. None of this, like, I'm going to book an appointment for an IUL, and then they might show up. If they show up, I'm going to submit the case, and then there's going to be an outstanding requirement. All of a sudden, they're requesting medical records. That's going to take 2 months, and then they're going to ghost you, and you're not going to get paid. You just burned, how many hours of your time? Like, fuck that. I mean, for some people it works, but I don't have patience for that. I'm trying to get paid yesterday. So simplify the shit out of it. If it's 8:30 local time, you're dialing. What I do to make it very simple is I get on the phones for 8 to 8:30, depending on whatever I wake up. And then I don't stop dialing until I at least make 2 sales. And if I don't make minimum a day. And if I don't eat, and I do not eat until I made 2 sales, I don't give a shit. Judging from the physique,
breakfast, lunch, dinner, you're skipping it all.
Fuck that. The great Andrew Tate says, do not eat unless you've made money. So I don't know if you're a Tate fan, but I followed that. And honestly, it helps because when you eat, you get lethargic. It makes you lazy kind of subconsciously. Yeah. So I will not eat until I get 2 apps issued.
Hey, you look like you need to eat, dude.
Yeah. I lost a little bit of weight. So I'm trying to catch up to you.
Jacked as shit. You got to eat.
Yeah. Well, that's all I do. I just sell insurance and go to the gym. I don't really do much partying anymore. I mean, those days are kind of over. In my old age, I've calmed down a little bit. I don't know how you were in your late 20s, but I was a lunatic earlier.
I had my first kid on the way at 16, so I didn't do a ton of partying. I missed that age. I missed that stage. Shit.
Well, that's good. At least you weren't hanging around people like me when you were 16, because I was doing the worst of the worst when I was 16. But like, I mean, you got these kids in here like Johnny or like all these other young guns coming in here at like their early 20s. These kids are making like 50, 40 grand a month. Bro, if I made 40 grand a month when I was like 18 or 16 or 19 or whatever, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
I could barely handle it now, and I'm 29.
Yeah, I agree. So how do we teach agents to get on the phone to a one call close? What's the magic?
Okay, so the idea is infrastructure, right? So I preach infrastructure. If you don't have good infrastructure, you're going to get smoked. So what does that come down to? That comes to leads. The problem I see with a lot of these new agents, John, is that they're working way too many different types of leads, right? You need to be getting, whether it's an outbound digital Facebook lead, whether that's an inbound lead. I don't give a shit, all right? But you need to have a lot of them. And
do you care if it's new or old, or do you care? in your
I mean,
preference?
I self-gen.
Right? Yeah.
I self-gen.
My question is, do you care?
Not really. I mean, as long as if they tell me to fuck off and take me off the list, then I'll stop calling them. But other than that, like I'm calling these people 9 times a day, daily, right? Because you can't go over 9. That's a TCPA violation. But I mean, people are just overthinking it. But you have to have good infrastructure. So pick a lead source, stay with that lead source, use that lead source. If you're profitable, if you're profitable within 2 months, sick. Right? Yeah. We want to get you profitable, your first or second week because we're using instant issue, pay next day carriers. Yeah. But let's get good infrastructure. So leads, that's your lifeblood. If you guys aren't getting consistent lead flow, I don't care if you didn't make money last week. I don't care if you didn't get a hold of everybody last week. You're getting new leads. You need new leads. If an agent's not taking new leads, I'm going to smack the shit out of them. It's just the way it is, right? If you're not willing to invest in yourself and buy new leads, this ain't the business for you, kiddo. And that's okay. More business for me. So leads. Number 2, if you're doing outbound, man, you need to have a decent CRM. I mean, they're all kind of the same. They're all kind of go high level. They're all kind of the same. And then I'm hell-bent on local presence dialing, right? So if you're doing outbound digital like myself, you need a good amount of states. I have 26 and I do just fine, but at least 10 states, and you need to be dialing them with their area code, right? So it's a local presence dialer. I'm sure you've heard of Kixie, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so Kixie, CRM, good leads, and 6 carriers maximum. Let's make sure that we're getting paid the next day or shortly thereafter, and then you're going to make cash. And then when those agents see that cash come in, it's going to motivate them to keep going. But I think where these agents get discouraged because they're pussies, it's like they'll set a bunch of appointments. Oh, John, they didn't show up. Yeah, it's like, motherfucker, when people didn't show up when I was in the field, I was sitting on their porch like a loser, right? Like I got stood up for a date. All you have to do is get back on the phones, man. I mean, it's going to happen, right? But I preach one call closes because it's for digital leads, bro. It's so hard to get these people back on the phone. Man. But back when we were running in homes, man, that hurt. Yeah. That hurts. You drove an hour. The person's not even there, or they're home. They're answering the door.
Yeah.
So you're just banging on their door.
Yeah. Go to the back door. Go to the window.
I'm not doing it in Florida, bro. I'm gonna get. Not in Florida, man. You get shot over here for that shit.
I have done it. So my favorite thing you said there is you call them 9 times in a day.
Ideally.
So if you have to. I get it. If you have to. Yeah. Yep, 100%. So if you're calling me and I don't pick up, you call me at 8:30, whatever time you start. When do you call me again? What's your process?
If you're a brand new lead, I'll call you 3 times in a row like that.
Right away. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I don't pick up on all 3, when do you call the 4th time? Do you have a process?
Yeah, I mean, so what I'll do is I'll get like a stack of new leads in the morning that are generated from the night prior. I'll triple dial, throw those all into a power list that's like 1 week old.
Yep.
And then I'll just rip through that, right? So I'm constantly I'm calling typically 2 numbers at a time. The problem with Kixie is that they don't have their voicemail detection set up yet. So if you call 9 numbers at a time, if you automatically get connected to someone's voicemail, it's going to automatically go to that one and defer the rest of the calls. So we're only doing 2 at a time right now, right? So 2 at a time. And man, someone's going to pick up the phone. And then right when they pick up the phone, boom, hi, John. Like just right into the script. Even if I talk to me, they're not going to fucking remember you, man. These people are old because I'm doing final expense. They talk to so many people. Like the fact that you think they're going to remember you, unless you just spoke to them and they just told you to fuck off. I mean, they're not gonna.
Hey, all right, I got a question. This is one people always ask me. I don't know if you've seen, I have videos out of triple dialing and I get blasted on social for it because people are weak. But one of the most common things that agents ask me when they go, all right, I'm willing to do it. But what do you do if they get mad at you? That's what agents ask me all the time. So I want your answer because I like you.
If they get mad, oh my God. What are they going to do? Are they going to hurt me? If they get mad, they're going to hang up and they're going to forget about you. Who cares? Next. But typically people aren't that mad.
Agreed.
They really aren't, bro. You've called someone like 16 times in a row, which is don't do that.
Yeah, I did it as a challenge to someone.
Yeah,
long before all the rules,
bro. Man, okay. There's a saying. What is it? Like, shy salespeople have skinny kids or some shit. I mean, you guys got to get some balls. You can't have that mindset. What if they pick up? They're going to be mad.
Yeah.
man, typically they're not going to be mad. If they do mad, you try to calm them down. Oh, John, I apologize. We're just so busy here. I was just trying to help you out here. Were you looking for just get control of the conversation? If someone's anytime you lose control of the conversation or they're mad, you ask them a question, regain control of the conversation, right? And then you go right back into your script, try to calm them down. If you can't, next, whatever. Call them back in 2 days. They're not going to remember you. I mean, who cares? Whatever.
If you can't overcome that one weak ass problem, you should quit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro.
You call me 9 times. Oh, dang, my bad. My phone, I thought it was messing up. So anyway, my name is John. You know what I mean? Like, who cares? I don't know. As you're running and gunning here, I'm like, we're very similar. And I didn't know this because we haven't talked before this.
We met at SWAT. Shout out to Nate Buckford. Shout out to Gus. I was in the gym working out and I was listening to your podcast. I was like doing crunches. Then I look over. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm fucking listening to this guy right now. Yeah, dude. You did like a keynote. It was dope. But I mean, shit. If I hear an agent say that, I mean, I get where they're coming from because no one wants to be called 3 times. But you know what? My point is this. This person, we're not cold calling.
Yeah.
These are, I mean, I'm not. I don't know if you are. No. You're fucking definitely not. I mean, but like
calling.
You're right.
To be clear. Period. But when I was calling, I wasn't cold calling.
Yeah, you're not.
Here's what I always said though. Here's the way I always told people to look at it. Let's just pretend for a second I'm calling you, right? Mm-hmm. And I get to choose to call you up to 9 times in a day or not. I get to make that choice. Okay. Mm-hmm. And let's pretend in some wacky world I get to like you die. I don't get you coverage. You're dead. Your family's whatever is left is left.
Yeah.
And I get to talk to you in the afterlife and be like, yo, I had the opportunity to call you up to 9 times and it would have left your family in a better situation.
Mm-hmm.
Would you then choose that I called you more than I did?
Exactly. And I think
so I have to get my mind there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And go like, this is why I'm doing it. And if you're mad, you're mad, whatever. Because I get mad when I don't get people on the phone and then they die. Then I'm mad.
Agreed. Strongly agree. I mean, my 2 short years in the industry, I've done 8 death claims.
Damn, dude.
8. No, I've sold quite a bit of business. Not trying to toot the horn here, but the challenge is that what if I didn't get a hold of those people?
Correct.
What if they threw me an objection I didn't overcome it? You know what I mean? Their family would have been fucked, right? So I think these agents need to be a little tougher. I don't know. Maybe they got like bullied in high school or something. I don't know. But that's the past. You gotta be a little stronger. These people said, "Call me." Yeah. They opted in to be called. You're not door knocking. I've never door knocked in my life, but now that's a little more scary. You're knocking on someone's door and they could actually yell at you.
So one of the previous episodes, I had this dude Jorge on. He was a little intimidated by purchasing leads. He didn't have a ton of success early. He cold door knocks, dude. Not even door knock leads. Cold door knocks.
Yeah.
And issued $400,000 last year.
Issued?
Cold door knocking, bro.
That's badass, man.
It's like the second or third episode I did.
That's badass. Oh, that's scary. I mean, I get that. Like, I'm not trying to do that.
Whatever.
I'm not trying to do that. But I know there's other teams like NASB does this. My boy Gonzalo, this guy put up and finally he went into like a senior's home. He snuck into there and this guy just fucking knocked and talked to everyone. The guy wrote like 6 apps for like 6,000, 7,000. So walking out of there, depending on what his, contingent on what his commission is for those products, the guy walked out of there with like 4K.
Yeah,
I mean, sure, you're scared, but I mean, 4K sounds pretty nice. All you got to do is do this or do this. I mean, it's not that hard, people.
All of it works at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So there's 1,000 ways to scare a cat. Just get a cat.
Yeah. What can you share with, you said you follow a script. What can you share with phone script that you think would be beneficial to people? Getting them on the phone.
I mean, the idea is absolutely. So I think the idea is right when you get them on the phone, you got to immediately kind of sound confused. Like you don't want to sound too salesy because we don't want to sound like every other person calling them, right? Because these people are getting called by Medicare agents. Yeah. I fucking can't stand the Medicare agents, especially in AEP. You guys are killing my market, damn it. But I mean, they're doing their thing. That's fine. Yeah. But I mean, the idea is tonality is key. And we use a line right after our intro. Now, were you looking for anything specific or just wanting to go over options? Now, immediately when I tell them that, if they start saying, oh, well, Max, I was, I'm just kind of worried about, if I pass away, I don't have enough coverage. If they start opening up to you, boom, to me, that's a huge buying signal, because that means that they're already telling me their pain. If I could get them to emote their pain within the first minute, oh man, I'm taking a nap.
Yep.
Absolutely. But we do it like this. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, John.
Yep.
Hey, John, this is just Maxwell. It looks, you may have already gotten like a phone call or even a text about this, but for some reason, John, it just doesn't look like things got updated here. But it looks like you recently responded to a request on Facebook about possibly looking at the new state-regulated life insurance programs, and it says that Mary was your beneficiary. Was that correct, good sir?
What? I don't think that was me, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm calling here, John, just to make sure that no one here calls from our office here. Is your email wetmorejohn@gmail.com?
Yep.
And were you born on June the 11th, 1986? Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, and were you looking for anything specific or just wanted to go over options?
Nah, just kind of tooling around, looking for pricing. I don't really know.
Yeah, cool. I mean, it doesn't hurt to at least know your options, does it?
Probably not.
Yeah, of course. And that's exactly why I'm calling here. And do you know how much coverage you were looking for? Boom. So
yeah.
The idea is guys, the first fucking thing they say, I'm not going to take seriously. The first part of the call, if they say, I'm not interested, I didn't fill it out, I already took care, I'm not taking any of that seriously.
Yeah.
My mentor, Nate and Gus Villagran, both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, debatably, some of the, shout out to Gus and Nate, some of the best salespeople I've ever met in my life, if not the best.
Yeah.
What they say is this: how do you know when people are lying or prospects lying to you?
When they're talking,
when their lips are moving, right? So I mean, take that to an extent, but I mean, anything they throw at me in the beginning, that first 30 seconds, I'm not taking seriously. You didn't fill it out. The funny thing is that you did. I'm not going to make them feel stupid about it, but I'm just going to get them to start saying yes. I'm going to immediately ask a question to take control of the conversation.
Yep.
I'm not going to say, oh, yes, you did. Ask a question, control the conversation, back into the script, get them to start saying yes. Microagreements, and just keep moving them through that script, baby. That's all we got to do. But immediately get control of the conversation. That's so important.
I find it funny, dude, how many agents believe the person speaking. Just straight up, they're like, they said they weren't interested. They just said they didn't do it. They said, you know what I mean? And I'm like, they believe it with everything. And they're like, I need a lead credit.
That's good. You need a lead credit.
Really? Like, that's it? That's all it takes to get you off the phone?
Oh, I mean, the challenge is, man, it's like, just don't take it as what they say seriously.
Yeah, and just smooth through it. It doesn't knock you off your feet, and if it does, it means you probably haven't practiced this very much, because it wasn't that deep what you just did.
No, it's not intentional. It's not that hard. Just ask a question.
Yeah.
Shit.
So how do you transition to the business side? I say yes, I'm interested, whatever. Yeah, maybe it's worth checking my options, blah blah. How do you go to let's do an app? How are you getting there?
All right, so John, it looks like the company here is recommending 3 options for you. Do you have that pen and paper handy there, good sir?
Yeah. So you're doing that right off the rip. I'm saying you get me to say yes, I'm interested in options. You're going right there.
Oh fuck no! No, I'm doing like full underwriting. So the one thing,
like a full inventory.
Oh, absolutely, right. So I think there's nothing worse than you get the app, you get the banking, and then you get a decline. It's like it's loading, say if it's like Aetna or something, and it's loading, and it's red circle. It's like, shit, because then you got to backpedal and try to resell them on a different premium. So I'm all about, let's do a thorough job underwriting. And when you're underwriting, John, you sound professional. Oh yeah, I had a heart attack, 2 years ago. Okay, did they prescribe you clopidogrel? Did they prescribe you warfarin? Have you prescribed nitro? When I get through my underwriting, because I know all the medications and I know the questions to ask, they have I sound professional. I'm not talking how I talk now, obviously, but they could tell that I know my shit, right? And I do know my shit. I'm not trying to brag. That's what I'm trying to do here. But if you actually are thorough and you understand the carriers and the medications, because you've been doing it, you've been actually working, man, they're going to have zero doubt about who you are after you're done your underwriting section, right? Yeah. So thorough underwriting. And when you're underwriting, that's when you're building rapport, right? Yeah. Because they're like, holy shit, this guy knows what he's talking about. So the idea is underwriting. And then I'm going to tell them, okay, our system's going to load, and then I'll start building some pain. I'll say, okay, but first a little bit of discovery. Now, John, have you been looking around for a while, or did you just start?
I've looked a couple times.
Yeah, okay. And how long have you been looking for?
I don't know, last few months.
Few months. Oh, you're probably sick of us, aren't you, John? Fake
Getting
laugh.
there. Getting
Yeah,
there.
yeah. No, I get it. We're a little annoying, but let me ask you this, John, if I may. Why couldn't you find coverage the past 2 months? Maybe it was too expensive, or maybe you didn't like who you were speaking to. What kind of happened there?
Yeah, I mean, probably the pricing for the amount of coverage didn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah, did they give you one of those stupid waiting periods, John?
One of them did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, unfortunately, we see that quite a bit here. What were they charging you? Something like like 200 or $150 a month for 10,000, something crazy like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Right, boom. Okay, this is the best person to speak to. Why? Because they know the shtick. They already know what the insurance is, and they've already their anchor, their price anchor is up here. I already know what they qualify for because I did a good job underwriting. If I could identify they've spoken to someone, they've been quoted, and they're getting this high of a price, and I could offer them same day coverage, and there's a good chance, I'm very confident that they're going to get approved. Man, that's going to be a fucking laydown because everyone else is coming up here with a waiting period. I'm coming down here with level coverage. Oh man, that's like that's a laydown. But the idea is we identify what's their experience. Have they ever owned life insurance in the past, right? So have you ever owned private life insurance in the past, John?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. And do you still have that coverage?
No, it was a while ago when I was working.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it was like through it was like a group life plan through your employer.
I think so. Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, they don't let you keep that rate, do they? I wish they would. Now the challenge is with this. So this person's never owned private life insurance. This is going to be a little different. So we're going to have to kind of price condition them a bit, right? Because they don't know what they don't know, and that's okay. They're going to have these false hopes, being like, "Oh, I could get 100,000 whole life for $50." It's like, maybe if you were 6 with Mutual of Omaha, simplified issue, but not when you're 72, John, and you just had a heart attack 2 years ago. It's not going to happen, my friend. But it's all about. It's really important to know what their experience is with, private life insurance. Now, if someone's looking for a better rate and they just went through the whole spiel like 2 months ago, I mean, you could kind of accelerate.
Different game.
It's a different game, right? Because they know it. But if someone's brand spanking new to the insurance world, you got to kind of massage them a bit more, build a little bit of pain, set realistic expectations, and then progress the script there. But I think it's really important that agents need to not be quoters. I mean, if someone gets up the phone and says, "Oh, Max, just give me the quote," John, I'd love to give you the quote, but it's still loading. And if they're pushing back again, John, I need you to be a little more patient with me because I need to do my job properly, or else I could end this call right now and I keep having the same conversation like you have for the past 2 months, right? And I'm going to stand my ground, dude. I'm not going to let this fucking person push me around. And if they're still going to be a dick about it, I'm just going to hang up on them. I have hundreds of other people that I could call, but
your pricing is the leverage you have.
Absolutely.
I've always said, as soon as you give pricing, it's a wrap. If you don't have a strong sale by the time it should be sold before you give pricing. Absolutely.
It's like, and you're gonna feel the tone of the call change when John or Sally or whoever the fuck realizes, oh shit, if I don't get this coverage, my daughter Brittany is fucked. Like, she doesn't have 15 G's to come out of pocket. So it should be blatantly obvious. So I mean, right when you can't, you have to build. So intro. Underwriting, we're building rapport throughout that. We're going to do a little discovery about their experience. We're going to build some pain. Then we're going to present price. Then we're going to transfer it into the app, right? And I'm dragging them kicking and screaming if I have to. But you shouldn't have to do that. But that's my mentality, right? It shouldn't be awkward. There shouldn't be any pressure throughout the call. It's just a simple qualification process, John. You don't have to pay for anything now. We're going to mail it out to you. You're going to look at it. You know what I mean? It's very, very calm, very professional. But prior to that, I'm not presenting price till I could feel on the call that they're like, oh shit, I need this. And that's the good thing about final expense, bro, is that like people know that they need it. Yeah.
Sure. Before I get to the next part of the question, just out of shit curiosity, give me a ballpark number. How many presentations you think you've done in the last couple of years, roughly?
Shit, homie.
Yeah, rough idea. How many do a week? What's your goal?
I try to do
sales a day. So 2 sales a day. How many presentations to make 2 sales?
I got a pretty good. My closing ratio this month has been 85%. Okay. So that's a little higher, but
3 or 4 max.
Yeah. So I try to do 5, and we're working on how to get that higher.
Okay.
But I think if you're doing outbound digital, the idea is you want to do 5 hours of talk time a day, 5 presentations a day. If you're brand new and you don't have good lead flow, I want you at least 300 dials a day. And doing 300 dials a day ain't that hard.
Yeah. How many days a week are you selling?
I have no fucking life, John. I have no wife. I have no girlfriend. That's just wait. So I'm working at least 6.5 days.
Okay. So you're doing 30 plus presentations a week. Easy.
Sure. Yeah. So I try to.
1,500 a year. You've done this a few thousand times. Easy.
Correct. Yeah. I've done my reps.
Some of the people watching, if this is your first day, first week, first month, like it's going to take him. His reps got him here. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's like a weird balance, man, because I think if you've been in the business 3, 4, 5, 6 months and you don't know meds and underwriting like he does, I think you aren't trying at all to be good at your career.
Correct.
But you have to give people, like, if you're brand new getting started, I also believe you can't know all this shit your first week.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I strongly agree. But I mean, everyone's shit when they start. I was shit. You were probably shit. I mean, terrible. And that's okay. Like, you're going to be shit. We got to be mindful of that. But you don't have to be shit for long. Like, I see these people that come in and it's like, it's a month in and they still don't know their script. I'll be like, okay, give me your intro. And like, I tell that they're like looking, I'm like, what the fuck have you been doing for the past month? Yeah. Okay. When I went from a 2-sit close to a 1-sit close, I knew that script top to bottom within 2 days. Want to know why? Because you got to be obsessive about this shit, right? It doesn't take that long. Just record yourself doing the script top to bottom, include objections, overcome the set objections when you're recording it, top to bottom, read it. And that's all you listen to. When I was starting out, do you think I listened to music in the gym, John? I was either listening to podcasts, shout out to John Wetmore, or I was listening to Nate Offord or Gus Villagran doing a presentation in my ear over. I would sleep with it on my laptop and it'd be blasting and I'd be listening to it when I slept. So when I got on the phones, I had the confidence and I knew exactly what to say. If you don't know what to say and you can't focus on how to say it, you're fucked. Someone's going to say I need to think about it and you're going to be like, click. You're going to sound like a loser and you're going to sound desperate. No. You got to know this stuff from top to bottom. And, once you get a little more experience, it's going to get a lot easier, but it does not take that long. Like, I got up and running, like doing an app a day, 20,000 a month in about a month. Right. And that was right when I got licensed, but that was because I attacked the shit with intensity. Cause I was like, I don't have any fucking money. Like, I got to make this work, man. I started off, I had like $3,000 in my bank account. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get this going. Right. Yeah. And that's okay. Let's not put ourselves in that situation, or maybe you might be in a worse situation. But I mean, you can make a lot of money in this industry if you're focused and you're disciplined and you're consistent. So just record. It's not that hard. Just take one of these fucking things, record your script, put it in your ear, and that's all you listen to day in, day out. Yeah. And then you'll be fine.
And get some feedback from someone who knows what the hell they're doing. That
helps. Absolutely.
You got some good people in your corner.
Absolutely.
They're not hard to find. There's good people everywhere at every company, everyone there's always someone making money. It's just, are you doing the work that earns you the right to get someone's time that's killing it? You know what I mean? Are you putting in the work? Dude, they'll help you.
Agreed.
If you're not, they probably won't.
No, I mean, agents are like, oh, can you send me a recording of your call? I was like, no. I'm like, why? It's like, man, because like you didn't even work last week. It's like, why should I dedicate my time for my production to help someone that's not even about the business? Like, if you're about the business and you're new and you're struggling, like I will kill for you, bro, or gal. Yeah. But like, man, you gotta earn, you gotta get in there and like, fuck up a couple times and show effort and then ask someone for their help. But if you're just scrolling on Instagram, doing, 10 dials maybe every hour, oh, I'm going to take a break. Oh, I'm going to I'm going to go shopping. Like, no, man. Yeah. Like, you gotta take this shit seriously, or else no one's going to take you seriously. And you're going to be part of the 95% that doesn't make it past their first year. And that's okay. Not everyone's meant for this industry, John. But like, if you're about it and you're actually practicing and you're consistent, you'll be fine.
Agreed. All right, back to the sales side. You do all that stuff. How do you close them down? Let's get to the end of it. How do you get paid? Yeah, how do you get paid, bro?
All right, John.
You got me interested. You're about to show pricing. Maybe you showed it. You pick where you're at.
All right,
and lock it down. It's
really, really important. Presenting price. I'm like at SWAT. Hopefully I don't get sued for this. Nate, don't sue me if you see this.
It's copyright. Careful.
So the main idea, guys, is when we're presenting price, we have to create the dynamic that they're not making a forever decision. Because technically they're not, but anytime someone feels like they're making a decision and, oh God, Maxwell's going to force me to pick a price with me forever, I need to think about it. They're going to start freaking out in their head, right? So we need to create the dynamic on the call that, all right, John, take a deep fucking breath. We're just going to pick a number. We're going to apply for it. And then when, if you do get approved, they're going to mail you a policy. You're going to look it over. Then you're going to authorize it to start. So I need to create that dynamic in their mind that, hey, this is just a simple application process. I could choose one of these numbers. I could go up and down if need be. Okay. No big deal. If you fail to create that dynamic, you're going to get hit with I need to think about it. So the I need to think about it is the main thing we need to avoid. The idea is all the conversation prior, we're taking objections off the table. We're building credibility because they're saying, holy shit, this guy knows his shit. So, all right, John, now it looks like the company here is recommending 3 different options for you. They're recommending 20,000, 15,000, and 10,000. Now, John, we could go up, down, left, right to make this work for you, sir. This is just what they recommended. Now, prior to this, I'm going to get them to establish budget. Now, if someone says their budget's $75, my bottom price is not going to be $200. I mean, use your brain, right? So what I'm going to do is my bottom price is going to be right around $70 to $75. Yep. So, John, did you write that down, sir? 20,000, 15,000, 10,000?
Sure, I can.
Okay. So 20,000 at the top there, John, what that's going to do for you is that's going to leave your daughter, first of all, plenty of money to take care of the burial. Like I said, we need to be around 15,000. That's going to leave her an extra 5, to make sure that, say if she wants to pay for any, a family dinner, or maybe she wants to go shopping. I mean, I don't know, hand your daughter $5,000, which is going to do with it. Hopefully good, right? Now the 15,000, what that's going to do, John, full transparency, I don't want us to go much lower than this because, 10, 20 years down the road, that might not be enough. All right. But that's going to ensure that if you pass away in 20 years, we're going to have enough coverage. If you pass away anytime sooner, there's going to be a little bit extra. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, 10,000, John, something is better than nothing. You did say that, right?
That's true.
Yeah. 10,000, what that's going to do for you, it's at full transparency. It's not going to pay for the entire, burial, but, in this job, a lot of times, John, I deliver death benefits to, family members and they're heartbroken. And I said, hey, Dad couldn't afford to cover the entire burial, but he wanted you to have this. And, I hand them a check for 10,000 and they only have to come out of pocket 2,000. They're still heartbroken, John, but you should see their face. They light up and they're very thankful. Does that make sense? So again, something is better than nothing, but you don't want to be the guy that leaves their family with a $15,000 bill with no coverage, do you?
No, not at all.
Great. You see that image I just put in your mind?
Yep, 100%.
Right? Like the tone just shifted there, right?
And again, lock down a sale before you gave me pricing.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, sure. Absolutely. All right. So you got that 20, 15, 10 down?
Yep.
Now, John, I know I've been doing this long enough, John, to know that when someone says they want to think about it, it typically means it's too expensive. So, John, hey, if this is too expensive, you just let me know. I mean, seriously, no hard feelings. We could try to find another solution. And if not, John, we could just part ways as friends. Is that fair enough?
Yes.
I mean, some people are so rude, John. They just hang up on me right after I tell them the price. You wouldn't do that, would you?
I will not hang up on you.
Not John Wetmore, right? All right, now, John, the top option here, this looks like it's like a little out of your price range, like a little out of your budget, but the company did want me to share it with you. The 20,000 there, that would be $115 a month. Okay. And then the middle there, we'd be at 98. And then right at the bottom there, we'd be at 70. So you got that down, 115, 98, 70. Did you have that written down?
Yep.
Now, John, before you even really look at those numbers there, John, we kind of explain how the process works because it's actually changed quite a bit recently. So, John, even if you put a gun to my head, which I hope you wouldn't, and you said, Maxwell, give me the 20,000 right now, I'd say, John, I'd love to, but I can't. John, unlike your group life policy that you had with your employer, you can't just buy private life insurance. You have to first medically qualify for it. Okay. So there's no transaction of money today. You're not paying for anything. All we could do today, John, is simply pick a number that'd be comfortable for your budget. And then 3 things could happen. Okay. Number 1, company declines us. Not a big deal, John. We have access to all the good carriers. We just have to go back and pick a different company. The price will change by literally $2. And that's not an exaggeration. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Or number 2, they might counteroffer. Now, a counteroffer simply means they give us a different rate. We either accept their offer or we change carriers. Not a big deal. We just got to go back to the drawing board, right? That's not a big deal, is it?
Nope.
Right? Or 3, they approve you. Now, upon approval, what's great, John, within 3 business days, you'll be receiving a thank you card from me. And then in about 10 to 15 business days, you're actually going to be receiving a policy in the mail from the company. Now, get this. In the state of Texas, we actually have up to 30 days to make any minor adjustments. What do I mean by this? John, say if you landed up at the 115 and you're looking over your policy and you say, dang, I actually can't afford this. I need to go down to $70 a month or $50 a month, whatever. We could always go down in coverage, right? And they'll refund you the difference if the policy started, okay? Or if you want to go up, we don't have to go through underwriting again, right? So, John, you're going to have plenty of time to talk about it, think about it, pray about it. I mean, don't fight about it, obviously, but it's not really a one and done thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, John, go ahead and circle the number there that will give you the peace of mind you were looking for, but also fit within your budget.
Choosing the 98.
Okay. And so let me ask you this, John. Say if your fridge went out, say if you had a tough month, because believe me, they're coming, right? Would the 98 still be doable?
Should be.
Should be. John, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
So when you said should be, I'd personally I would lose sleep if this was, taking any food off the table. Why don't we start a little bit lower, and then we'll see how that fits in your budget, and then we could always add coverage in the future. Is that fair enough, good sir?
Okay. Yeah.
Great. So what I want you to do, John, is I want you to cross out the 115, cross out the 98, and circle the 70, just so there's no confusion. Okay.
Got it.
Great, John. And do you have a middle initial? Boom, right into the app.
Yeah.
No dead space. This is all about transitions. The great Peter Fournier always says this job is all of this. The presentation is all about transitions. So when I'm filling this out, when we're talking, like I'm multitasking and I'm actually filling out the app. Like I have all his email, his phone number, and I'm filling out the app there. And then it's right when he picks the number, we confirm that number that it fits in his budget, because final expense budget is everything, right? These people are on very fixed incomes. We got to make sure it's affordable. So that shit's going to fall off. You're going to get a charge back. Let's avoid that, right? It's better to go a little bit lower and making sure that shit sticks, right? Yeah. I get them to circle it. I get them to cross out those numbers, because when people cross shit out, it does something to their brain. And you see something online, oh, it's a sale. It's not a sale.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm going to get them to cross it out, and then I'm transitioning right into that app very clean, and I'm immediately getting them to question answering mode.
Yep.
What's your address? What's your email? Boom, 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 boom. I want to get that yes train going, right?
I love it.
Absolutely.
And then where are you going about? Because I see agents try to do what you're doing, and like they don't let the age, and I know final expense varies a little bit depending on when they get their pay and Social Security and all that shit. But like how do you make sure that they know they're paying, and you don't get that shit like, oh, I thought I was just seeing if I got approved and I got to choose when I pay. You know what I mean? Like I see agents mess that up terribly, and they deliver it. It's like, I call it like the wussy close. If they do it the wrong way and they're like, well, they got mad. They said that I was just seeing if I was eligible. They didn't know they had to pay. I'm like, well, that's because you told them that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like,
what? That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, oh my gosh. So they're saying that a draft happened and they said they weren't aware that they had to pay for it?
I've had agents struggle. They don't deliver it the right way.
Oh
right?
my
So how do you get to the point where, all right, we're drafting your account tomorrow, next Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month? Like, how do you lock that down so you don't deal with shit later?
Okay, John. Now, so I mean, first of all, I mean, it'd be interesting to hear what these people are selling, because like, if you're running ads saying that this shit is free, you're probably going to get very low quality people, and you're going to run into that.
I'm saying they don't lock down that they're paying.
Okay.
When the draft date is. Like, how do you secure that the client knows the day they're paying?
Yeah.
You know
okay.
I mean?
So I get the question now. So ideally, guys, we want to go for ASAP business if possible. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it has a higher issue rate and they're less likely to change, right? If we post date the fucking thing for 2 months, I mean, it's just, it might issue, but it might not.
Probably not.
So we're gonna try to go for ASAP business. Unfortunately, some carriers, if you're setting up true Social Security billing, won't allow you to do that.
Correct.
If you Prosperity, if you hear this, get your shit together. Okay. So shout out. Don't terminate me. I like Prosperity, but the idea is this. So first of all, it's kind of hard to answer that question if you don't know how they're selling. But okay, John. So since this is same day level coverage like you were looking for, what most people want to do is they want to be protected right away. So depending upon you're approved or not, John, if this policy were to start in the next few business days, would that take any food off the table, sir?
No.
Okay, great. So realistically, if you do get approved, what's that?
No, sorry. Go ahead. Finish that, and then I'll.
Yeah. Okay. So that means that within the next couple of business days, and this is, by the way, guys, like I'm saying this after I get banking and all that shit.
Yep.
Right. So let's go through a whole banking script right now. Okay. So I'll just do like the banking section right now.
Yep.
Right. Because this part is where a lot of people fuck it up. And this is one of the most critical parts of the sale.
Yep.
All right, John. So we'll be setting this up through, Prosperity's bank service plan. Which bank do you typically use, good sir?
With Bank of America.
Okay. Oh yeah, nice. You've been there a while. A lot of my clients from Texas use Bank of America.
Yep.
Okay, so it looks like obviously Bank of America is one of Americo's preferred lenders. So the routing number for Texas automatically populates as 06782724. Could you confirm that that's correct, please? Because sometimes they're wrong.
No, that's the right number.
Okay, could you just do you have like a blank check or something just to confirm that's correct? Because John, I love talking to you, but I would hate to do this all over again if we're wrong.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Right now.
Okay, got you. Let me just repeat that back to you. 06783725. Is that correct?
That's right.
And the account number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
I want their eyes to go from here to here. I'm never going to say, what is your account number? Why do you need my account number? Does it click, right? So I want them to confirm that it's the routing number, and I want their eyes to go from here to here, right? Minimal friction, right? And then I'm going to establish the draft dates because I already got that information. Ha! See what I did there?
100%.
So, all right, John. Now, since this is same day immediate level coverage like you were looking for, what most people want to do, John, is they want to make sure that their wife is, protected, as soon as possible, right? So, John, if you do get approved, typically the policy would start within the next few business days. Would that take any food off the table? Would that stress you out? Say if the $70 came out within the next 2 days, sir? No? Okay, gotcha. All right. And then you said you get your Social Security on the 3rd, the 1st, or the 3rd or 4th Wednesday?
Yeah, the 3rd Wednesday. Okay,
so what I want you to do, John, is I want you to write this down. I want you to write down, okay, so it's the 29th today. I want you to write down the 05/01/2024, okay? So that would be the effective date, all right? Circle that and put EF date. That stands for effective date. And then I also want you to write down below that, reoccurring to be the 3rd Wednesday, right? And then I'm going to go for the signature, all right? Whether it's a text, whether it's whatever, get the signature. But I have them write that shit down, and then I'm going to explain the process at the end. Okay, fantastic, John. It looks like you have been approved, and since you want to be protected right away within the next few business days, explain to them what exactly they're going to see on their bank statement, right? So it's really important to know if it's SBLI, it's going to say S.USA. If it's Prosperity, it's going to say Prosperity. I think Americo is going to say Americo. Aetna. These guys are fucking nuts. If it's a Sendo, it's going to say Landmark. What the hell is that shit? But, the idea is, guys, is you're a professional and you're letting them know, okay, John, fantastic. Looks like you've been approved. And then just like you wrote down there, 05/01, once when you do see the draft, it would say Americo or whatever carrier. That means, John, that you are technically insured. Okay? So, John, don't die on me before then, okay? I'm trying to get him to laugh. I'm trying to get him to calm down. Right, depending on the personality type. But as long as they write that down and you're clear that that's the effective date, and then you say once when you see that draft, that means you're protected, and then you're gonna be receiving your my thank you card or the policy shortly thereafter. You should never run into that. I never get that. If you're Gus, the guy who trained me to sell, we call that shit soft selling. Oh, we're just gonna apply. You could cancel. I never say that. You're not fucking canceling. Hell no. Yeah. Absolutely not. But they need to know when it is to start, when it is to reoccur, right? Yeah. So if you're doing final expense, guys, I only want you writing true Social Security billing, or else you're going to rack up a huge balance because you're going to have shit fall off, and it sucks. It totally sucks, right? So, you shouldn't get that. You really shouldn't get that.
Yeah, it's not that deep. Yeah, it's not that deep. Unfortunately, some of the people watching, they aren't professional at what they do, and they mess it. They're afraid to be bold with, if you call it bold. I don't really call it bold, but they would, in their own head, be a little more bold with things. And, so
I think their dad should have been tougher on them if they had one. I don't know.
I love it. All very simple stuff, dude. I love it.
But I've never gotten that.
Yeah.
I've maybe gotten that once when I started, and that was because I fucked up on the app and set it for an immediate draft.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, sorry, by the way.
My bad. Yeah. Hey, if you're having trouble with things, those are the things you fix on your next one. It's like learn from the mistakes. Instead, a lot of people keep making the same mistake over and over again and then blame the leads or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's the good one. The best is when people blame the leads. The leads only suck when you're not selling. But when they're doing good, you're like, oh yeah, this is a good lead source. It's like,
great batch.
You sure, bro? You sure? But you shouldn't get that. You shouldn't get that, dude. That's
what's your goal this year, bro? How much are you gonna sell this year?
Well, the goal this year in deposit cakes. I'm a big believer that there's two things that matter in this industry. If you're independent, you're not doing free leads. What did you sell? What did you spend on leads? How much hit your bank account?
Yeah,
that's what I'm about. I'm not about, oh my gosh, I sold $600K. Good for you. How much did you deposit, bro? So deposits.
That question. Yeah.
I'm hitting deposits. I'm hitting $250,000. That's what we're tracking to do. That's what we're gonna do. But $400,000 issue paid. Which really isn't that much. I don't know. I might go to Europe for a month and fuck off. I'm still kind of conflicted. But $400,000 issued paid solid business. but quarter mil in deposits.
Yeah.
Quarter mil in deposits. So net, I mean, maybe 200K, strictly production. I don't really recruit. So, I'm just straight produce. I gotta get your help with that.
That's what I do well, bro. That is what I do well.
Apparently.
And fun. What's your favorite tattoo? What do you got over there?
Oh, so these are all Japanese tattoos. I'm half Japanese. So we were samurai back in the day. We used to cut people in half when they didn't agree with us. I mean, I wish I could do that now, but you can't. So these are my samurai crests here. And these are just traditional Japanese tats. Black and red only, because black and red is like just the sickest colors. And it's interesting. The samurai, they used to compete with how much red they could put on their body, because red was very poisonous, but it was the only color. So instead of guys being like, "Oh, I could lift more weight than you, I could sell more than you," it's like, "Oh, I could put more red ink on my body and not die." And it hurts, but I'm all about that, man, because as a man, you got to go through pain, right?
I love it,
whether it's business, whether it's weights, whether it's tattoos, but you're getting thousands of needles drilled into you, and it kills. But I mean, don't be a bitch. You signed up for this, and I think that's what people have to carry that mentality to the industry. Like, this is not easy, but I mean. You make a really good income, John, but I mean, it was pretty fucking stressful, and you had to go through some pain. Did you not?
100%. Still go through pain, bro. The pain don't go away.
It's good. You gotta love that shit. So I mean, people just need to kind of, and I think it comes down to also people recruiting too. Like, this is not. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's gonna be a very hard thing, especially in the beginning. Holy shit, the beginning sucks. But I mean, the beginning sucks for everything, and that's okay. But as long as you got the right team, right leads, you're consistent, you're writing good business, and you accelerate that learning curve, which it should not take that long. I'm talking a month maximum. You should be selling consistently. And if you can't do that, that's okay. I mean, fucking McDonald's is hiring or Uber's hiring. I don't know. More business for me. But straight up.
Where can they find you if they want? You on social? I see you on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I got to
give some content. Or you cannot. I don't care. You pick.
Yeah, so my Instagram at Maxwell Baker on Insta. If you're gonna try to recruit me, don't. It's not gonna end well, because I'm not trying to change teams. But yeah, you can reach out to me. You can talk about the business. But if you're trying to sell me some shit, or if you're trying to recruit me, just don't. Please don't waste my time, homie. But yeah, you can follow me. We could talk about the business, because I'm about it. But that's where you could find me.
Love it, dude. Well, I appreciate your time. It was great info. You're killing it. And you got a good crew around you. I know all the guys you surround yourself with, and they're all winners. So
yeah, they're dogs.
Appreciate your time, dude. And if I can help in any way, let me know. And
absolutely, bro.
I assume you're good if we share all this, put it out to the world, and keep things growing.
Absolutely, man. You crushed it out there. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Dude, appreciate your time, bro. Later.
Peace.